you 3 suggestions for how you can stand out in a crowded field or in a crowded industry or in a crowded job or in a crowded marketplace. Because it's hard. Like, you can look around at people online and be like, well, shoot, I can't compete with her because she's got 1 million followers. Hey everybody, this is Shontavia from Shontavia.com, and you're in the right place if you want to be inspired to build the brand and business you were made for. And I want to give you 3 suggestions for how you can stand out in a crowded field or in a crowded industry or in a crowded job or in a crowded marketplace. Because it's hard. Like, you can look around at people online and be like, well, shoot, I can't compete with her because she's got 1 million followers. Or I definitely can't compete with that business because they were on Beyonce's Black-owned business list. And so we can take ourselves out of the game because we think there's no way we can compete with these people who may be a little bit further along. But I've got 3 quick suggestions for you for how you can stand out in a crowded field no matter what industry you are in. And it really requires you to answer 3 questions for yourself. So the first question is, what results have you gotten? So are you really dope at making, Rice Krispie treats? Have you figured out how to always get a job when you apply for jobs? Have you started a business? Have you successfully potty trained your 18-month-old? I don't care what it is. Where have you gotten results? Because there is somebody out there who wants that result that you've already gotten. Like, in my own life, I remember the first time I started a business, I thought it was hard, but I figured out all the different steps. And after a while, people would start asking me, well, Shontavia, how did you do that? And I thought, oh, it was easy. I just registered an LLC, I got a tax ID number, I got a bank account, and boom, I had a business. But there were lots of people who did not know those steps, even though I didn't think that much about them. There were many people a few steps behind me who wanted to know how I did that particular thing. So where I got results was actually pretty important, not just for me to do those things, but there's a whole group of people, there's a whole field of people who want the results that I've gotten that they haven't gotten for themselves. And so one way you can stand out in a crowded market is to do that, is to make sure that you answer for yourself where you've gotten results, and then you share that information with other people, because those folks will become your supporters, your followers. They will be the people who become your clients because they want the results that you've already figured out how to get. So that's the first thing. Where have you gotten results? The second thing, and this is a really, really important one, where do you have natural ability? So many people want to create a business or a brand or whatever, but they don't want to be themselves. They want to be some manufactured version of themselves. Instead of doing that, take that stuff that's in you naturally and play that up. Talk about those things, exhibit those things, because then it won't be as hard, right? If you are doing the things that you're good at naturally, if you're doing things that just, come to you, this is not something that requires a whole lot of training or machination or whatever, then that's a great place to stand out in the crowd. Because if this is something that is natural for you, then it's something that you can just show up and do a lot easier than twisting yourself into knots about how you're going to be somebody who you're not. So that's the second thing. Where do you have natural ability? And so in the last half of the video, what I'm going to do is give you one more tip for how you can stand out in a crowded field. And then I'm going to give you 2 suggestions for resources of where you can start to figure this out. One is free, one is not free, but how you can use the tools and quizzes and strategies other people have already developed to help you figure out where you have natural ability, where you are naturally inclined for things. So my first 2 suggestions, again, where have you gotten results? Answer that question for yourself. Number 2, where do you have natural ability? And then the third thing is scroll through your DMs, scroll through your text messages, your emails, and look for places where people are asking for your help. Because if folks are asking for your help with specific things, that means people have already identified in you some skills, some characteristics that they find valuable. Things that people already have identified in you that maybe you haven't even identified in yourself. So where do people ask for your help? go to your last 20 or 30 text messages or DMs or emails and look for places where people have already asked for your help. You can stand out because this is a place where people already are saying, hey, you stand out. I'm coming to ask you for help with this specific thing because you already stand out in my mind in terms of how somebody can help me get from point A to point B. So if you're looking for a way to brand yourself in a very crowded field, ask those 3 questions of yourself and then play those things up with your brand on social, with your clients, with people who might become your supporters or your followers on social, or ultimately your clients and customers. So where have you gotten results? Where do you have natural ability? And what do people ask you for your help with? Now, if you struggle with figuring out like what you're good at and where you have natural ability, there are 2 places I want to recommend to you. So the first is called 16personalities.com, and it's basically a Myers-Briggs quiz. If you've never heard of that, it's basically kind of like a personality test, but it's pretty in-depth. And I've taken this quiz a few times. I actually get just about the same answer every time. I guess I haven't changed that much. And it really helps you start to identify in your career and in your relationships where you are naturally inclined to be and where you are naturally inclined to move, and how you relate to other people and how you relate to your careers and to your familial relationships and everything. And it is completely free. I know some people feel a little weird about personality tests, but I thought it was very useful for me because it pointed out some things in me that I kind of knew implicitly, but I didn't really think about in that way. So if you go to 16personalities.com, you can take that test and figure out for yourself, based on the answers to that quiz, if you agree with them, just what things naturally about you come out in your careers, in your personal relationships, in lots of different areas of your life. And I'll make sure I drop some links in the show notes so you can check those out. The second link I want to suggest to you, or the second quiz I want to suggest to you, is called How to Fascinate. And I think it's just howtofascinate.com. I'll make sure I drop a link below. But How to Fascinate is not a free test, but it's like a way that you can answer some questions and figure out how you fascinate other people, because you really only have a few seconds when you introduce yourself to somebody to attract them to you, to fascinate them by yourself and your story. The founder of this quiz is a woman named Sally Hogshead, and she has figured out a system when you answer some questions for letting you know how you fascinate other people. And I found it incredibly valuable because some of the words that came out of my quiz results are words that I use right now in my marketing all the time. So check out those 2 resources at 16personalities.com and then at howtofascinate.com. If you're struggling a little to figure out what's so special and unique about you, what your natural abilities are. Now, in the comments, let me know how you stand out in a crowded field or marketplace. Or if you feel like you're not standing out in a crowded field or marketplace, drop a comment and let me know where you're struggling, because I'd love to help you figure out how you can stand out in whatever field that you're actually in. If you like this video, make sure you make sure you subscribe, make sure you drop a comment and share this with your people, because I want everybody to win. I know you want everybody in your circle to win. So make sure you share this with your people who also are trying to figure out how to create their own personal brand, how they can stand out in a crowded space. If you like this video, I drop videos like this every day. These are just quick tips and suggestions for you on building that business that you're made for, creating that personal brand that you're proud of, that is dynamic and engaging. Thanks for watching.